Welcome back to the Champ Outdoors. So this week we really got some cruddy weather. Got winter storm coming in and all that. Or we're under a winter weather advisory. Supposed to kind of be a mix of freezing rain and all out. So probably not. We're not able to get to the lake this week. But instead, what I'm planning to do is I'm gonna pull up one of my mapping apps and kind of walk through what I look for on the lake this time of year, and try to kind of explain my thought process on where I'm looking for when I'm fishing and all. And we'll go from there. Hopefully you'll learn something. Try to make it a little bit of an educational video this week, maybe. Some tips, tricks, what I look for since we can't be out on the water. But as always, we want to thank Stat Outdoors for sponsoring this video. Please go check them out. There's a link down in the description along with a code if you want to save 10% signing up for Pro. It's really helped me out a lot. And yeah, you can follow along on my trips and stuff a little ahead of the videos even. And with that, we'll get to, well, I guess, looking at some maps. Alright, so here we are on Mark Twain. I'm trying to make sure you can see the map here. So this time of year, what I'm looking for are channel swings along bluff walls that may have a flat or a point coming off of them. Thought being on that, the fish can come out, suspend in that deeper water, avoid all the crazy temperature swings and that, and then on that flat they'll come up and feed. Because this time of year you're looking for those few fish that are coming up to eat. Like right in here, you can kind of follow the channel along here where it swings along this bluff wall right here and then comes into a flat. On top of that, there's also standing timber out in here, so there's all kinds of cover for the fish to pull off on and suspend. Stuff like this is what I'm looking for this time of year. But yeah, so we're looking at it on iPad now. One thing I do always have in the boat are paper maps, so we'll slide that out of the way. Pull our paper map up over here. So here we're at the same area. You can kind of see how it's marked with standing timber all through this area, and the channel's a little easier to see with it being outlined in black on here. So basically what I'm looking at is I've got a channel swing that comes in 30-40 foot deep, and we come up to a flat that is not fairly good size. It has a bit of a natural point on it too. And again, the dam is up here from where we are, so the flow would be along here and then coming up over that flat when they are generating current. And that's kind of what I'm looking for on things like this. But yeah, we'll go back to the iPad here. So this time of year, I like to stay down and focus on more lower lake levels, mostly because where the lake I'm fishing on, Mark Twain, tends to be clear down around this area, as well as you got really good protected boat launch there. I do like to fish in the mouths of the main feeder creeks, like this one right here. You can see there's a couple points and a few smaller coves, creeks that you can get back in and have some flats, some channel swings, and all like we were talking about. So the other thing I'm looking for this time of year, I'm trying to follow the bait fish, trying to find the shad, find schools of bait, because if I can find those, there should be fish around them. Now, lures and techniques, my kind of go-tos for this time of year are a jerk bait, a jig, a wiggle wort, and a large spinner bait. Nothing earth-shattering there. I will use a swim bait in place of a spinnerbait, like a larger swim bait for me anyway, but probably what most would consider a medium size. With those, I want to slow roll them, kind of just barely bounce them off the bottom, or as slow as I can in whatever range I'm seeing the fish on my electronics. So if they're 1 or 2 feet off the bottom, I'll try to slow roll it along the bottom, maybe as slow as I can to keep it up a foot off the bottom. Jerk bait, I like a jerk pause, jerk pause, something about that kind of timing. Because with the jerk bait, when I'm jerking, I want good crisp jerks to try to make as much noise as possible, and then let that thing sit there, suspend, maybe slowly sink or slowly float. That's something you just kind of have to fine tune. I like to use just a little bit of weights. A good tip I found is some lead-free solder, like you'd use for plumbing, is a good way. You can just wrap that around the shank of a treble hook. But yeah, so looking at the maps on Mark Twain here, let's see here. So here we have a boat ramp, and this area right in here, we kind of got a bit of a flat and a bit of a channel swing, so that'd be another place I'd probably look into hitting up. And I wouldn't be afraid to fish this flat over here by the boat ramp. And big reason why I fish around that boat ramp is there's tournaments held out of there all summer long, so there's fish being released back in this area. And if I'm just going out fun fishing, wanting to catch something, why wouldn't I try to increase my odds? Yeah. So now let's see here. So with this, so next I'm probably going to pull up another lake that I don't go to very often, and we'll just basically try to take a blind look at it. Alright, here we're going to start looking at Lake of the Ozarks. So we're going to start out zooming in. So we're going to start out at probably the boat ramp that's close on the north side, that's easy to get to, Kaufman Beach. And I'm not going to go off any previous knowledge. I'm just going to look at the map here. So looking at it, I'd be looking around this time of year. Let's see. So we got something that looks kind of interesting right in here. Looks like there might be a bit of a channel swing. It's a little on the deep side, but there's kind of this nice flat point there that I'd probably look into hitting up. So make sure this is, isn't it? Yep, that's what I thought. Making sure I hadn't told you wrong. I was pretty sure we were at Kaufman, but yeah, so come up here, you can kind of see where you got a swing and it comes into a flat out over here. I'd be looking at that. I'd be looking for, well, it's like the Ozarks, so there's always docks to hit, but if I'm just looking at a map and that, I don't know if I'd come this far back in here and fish these docks, but I'd definitely be wanting to hit the mouth of that cove there. Let's see, here we go. Here'd be, got a decent looking point right here with what looks like fairly steep coming up from how close the lines are to a flatter side. That'd be another thing I'd look at. Those would probably be my first two. Let's see, there we go. There's looks like a bit of a secondary drop-off. So right around in here, these bluff walls and that, I'd probably look at them, but I don't know if I'd actually fish them. And then the other thing I do, just knowing Lake of the Ozarks, I'd probably be doing some research. I'd probably find out, oh, jerkbaits are a big thing down there. One thing I'd probably do is come back in the mouths of some of these coves and throw jerkbaits around these docks. I'd also be using my electronics, looking for any kind of brush pile, any signs of fish. But yeah, just on the map, those would be the first 3 places I'd go look coming out of the boat ramp if I had never been there. But yeah, with that, I hope y'all have learned something this week, and I'll talk to you here, and we'll go back and close out this video. So, I hope y'all kind of learned something this week and all. Like I said, I tried to show you what I look for when I'm looking at maps this time of year, especially if I'm going to, say, a new body of water or one I'm not as familiar with. And on Mark Twain, I'm comfortable enough on that lake. It's hard for me to dissect a map on it at times because I know, like, well, I want to go there. I know I want to go there, but yeah, that happens. But yeah, I'd also like to thank Stat Outdoors for sponsoring this week's video. Please check them out at the link down below. Use my code for 10% off when you upgrade, and yeah, it's a great app. You can catch what's coming out a little bit earlier if you get on there and add me. Yeah, it's like I said, help support those that help this channel grow. Yeah, with that, please like, comment, subscribe. We're going into the new year. We're still growing. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun for this first year, and it's only looking up. And with that, I'll catch you next week on the Champ Outdoors.